Hey guys, what's up? Null here. So I'm very excited for the new Tundra trackers. Basically, their Kickstarter is going to release on the 29th at 9 p.m. UTC, which is going to be like around 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for me. And yeah, basically, while we're talking about the actual Kickstarter itself, we're going to go over prices real quick. So yeah, we're just jumping right into it. So yeah. Okay, so we know that 3 Tundra trackers plus 1 SW3 dongle, which is a super dongle that can pair up to 3 trackers at once, is going to run you about $300, which some people might be like, oh, that's expensive. But you realize this is a small company that they don't have the provisions to start additive manufacturing, not just regular manufacturing, really. So that extra cost helps to cover the manufacturing. But I'm pretty sure in the future this will kind of go down. Hopefully, I hope that the price per tracker would be around $80 per tracker, which is going to be kind of nice. But that's good. But they also have 2 more packages too. So there's the 5 trackers with 1 SW5 dongle, which will pair up to 5 trackers per dongle. And 7 trackers with the SW7, and you can probably guess what the SW7 dongle does. And this is what they call the community package, which is interesting. I pulled all this information from their Twitter and homepage, which is probably a somewhat reliable source. Like Twitter is a very reliable source for information, totally. No, I'm actually joking. It's not. If you know what that means, okay. So these 3 packages seem really cool. I wonder what people are going to do with 7 trackers. Like, I know you can kind of bind them to your shoulders and stuff, but I don't know any game out right now that supports anything more than 3 trackers at once. Probably Neos. Neos VR is just weird. They're like, oh yeah, face tracking, we got that. So probably you might see that in Neos VR, but probably not in VR chat yet. So 3 dongles, 3 trackers seem to be a very good package that I'm actually going to buy, because I am not going to spend anything more than $300 on VR hardware at once. But yeah, my bank account is probably going to be screaming at me after this, so that's going to be fun. Let's go over some more information we know so far up until this point. So it's going to be a lot smaller than just any HTC tracker right now. HTC has released their 3.0 tracker, which seems to be kind of like competitive towards the Tundra tracker, which I'm deeply like deep down I know HTC quickly released their 3.0 tracker just to kind of compete with the Tundra trackers, because yes, it's competitive English. Yeah, so basically it's going to be very competitive with the pricing, because you see that a single Tundra tracker will cost $95 per tracker without any dongles or anything, and the HTC's probably gonna run you around $130, which was a bad move by HTC personally for me, because $130, like, that's more than what a regular tracker would cost, and it's basically the same tracker, just a little bit smaller, and supposedly it actually has a little less FOV of just tracking, which is kind of sad. So I think HTC kind of rushed their 3.0 tracker just to kind of compete with Tundra, which is kind of sad, because I think HTC missed an opportunity to do that. But let's not talk about HTC right now. Let's keep talking about these trackers, really see what more information we know. So it has Type-C too, longer battery life and Type-C. Now I don't know if this actually supports quick charging, but I know these index controllers do support a form of faster charging through USB Type-C, which would be kind of nice to see if the Tundra trackers do have Type-C. Now, I don't even know if they actually support any kind of faster charging, But the fact that it has Type-C is very interesting. So if I do get my hands on some Tundra trackers, I will test out to see if they actually support a fast charge capable circuitry, because that would be really fun to test out. See, like you want to jump into full body real quick, but your trackers are half battery. Well, you just plug that thing in, and 5 minutes later it's charged to like 75%. So that seems to be a very possible feature, but I cannot confirm that. And yeah, these actually, yeah. So on the second sort of feature this actually has is a removable base plate, which seems to be really cool. And they actually, I think they go out saying that yes, we will like show like 3D print, like I think they support 3D printing as a viable like DIY option to kind of like show like different base plates. So like, hey, like I want a base plate that can connect to like my belt or something like that, or probably my camera, like a hot shoe mount maybe. And the 3D printing community will definitely whip something up like that, and definitely create a really cool like universal base plate type system. And it looks like these base plates are connected through just like screws. Yeah, they have like 2 screw holes, but would be cool to see them like connect through like really strong magnets, like really strong, because I'm sure you would be doing like cartwheels in these things. So maybe sticking with screws might be a nice option. But yeah, I mean, that looks cool. So talking about the base plates, I really wanted to know how big these trackers will be. And because there's no exact size, but we've seen a lot of product photos that I do trust, and some reviews from YouTubers that show them holding it and playing around with it and comparing it with the 3.0 HTC tracker. So there's this product photo right here on their website. It's captioned "Easy Application," and they see the tracker actually has a shoelace through it, and one of their straps that this will be shipping with. Basically the shoelace got me thinking, like, we know the width of a shoelace is 9.5 millimeters in the US because they're a Wisconsin-based company. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I popped this photo into Photoshop and then just kind of estimated how many shoelaces like in the width that this is. And I came out to around 47.5 millimeters, which is about this big. Yeah, I'm probably not going to show it very well on this camera, but as you can see, it's basically a lot smaller than an HTC tracker, but not by a crazy amount, but it's going to be smaller. And I'm sure you compare that to a 3.0 tracker and say like, oh, okay, that's not that small. But then you start to kind of think of, okay, yes, the area, like its footprint is about a little smaller than the 3.0. But now you kind of think of, well, how high is it? That's the main selling point I find on these trackers, is that the height of these trackers are a lot shorter than what you would see on a regular Vive tracker. Because with the Vive tracker, you see these things have like forks or fingers, and they kind of would get caught on my shirt sometimes when I'm using this single tracker for waist tracking. And these forks don't go straight up; they kind of go like out too. They kind of stick out a little, so it's more of not like a box type profile, but it's more of a glass, I don't know, candy dish profile. But with these Tundra trackers, they seem to keep this boxy profile with like one little fin going across the 2 edges, which is actually really nice, and I think that it would just make it feel a lot smaller, really. So yes, small. Yeah. These trackers are going to be really small, so yeah. But you see that they actually leaked a nice little new picture on their Twitter talking about, or just, it's definitely like a CG rendering, but it says Tundra Labs designed with love in Green Bay, Wisconsin, USA. So, which is actually really cool. And they got like a CE little logo on there. And a lot of these like really cool photos we're seeing is just CG renders. actual photos we're seeing are actually have just like a prototype 3D printed body, and this body has holes in them, but the final product will not have holes, simply because the final product will have some sort of injection molded type case, which is actually going to support two types of plastics. Probably one is going to be ABS for the main plastics, and some sort of a transparent IR like a pass type plastic that's going to appear black to our eye, but it's going to be invisible to the IR spectrum. And that's going to just be for the sensors, which you actually see the sensor placements with the beta, or not the beta, but the prototype version with the holes cut out. But those holes are going to be filled in with just regular, just like that transparent IR plastic. So I can't wait to see the actual production version, which actually makes me a little scared to see, like, okay, well, what is it actually going to look like when they release their final production version? Because all the ones we've seen so far in real life has just been just like 3D printed plastics and not a produced picture, so produced body, really. So I wonder what the final version is going to look like. I'm sure it's going to look very similar to what their CG renderings are going to look like. But yeah, so that's about it for what we know about the Tundra trackers so far. To confirm any other questions, these will be supporting 1.0 and 2.0 base stations, which is going to be really nice, just like the regular any other tracker should. And yeah, I think that's about it. So if you have any more questions, pop it in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. And if you want to see more from me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ding that bell so you get the notification when I upload on a very irregular basis. So that's all for now, and see you guys later. I was about to upload this video, and when I was about to go to here and like upload, I saw this on my homepage, Tundra Tracker Kickstarter video Japanese. So I thought it was just like this regular one right here, but it's actually 59 seconds long instead of the 12. And this is actually really cool. And it shows the tracker itself, and this is actually really cool. Now I'm too lazy to translate the kanji, but I don't think it's too important. But yeah, so this is just like the previous one, but it shows you the different base plate attachments. Wow, okay. But what's really interesting right here, it shows you the dongle itself. This is what I was waiting for. I didn't know what the dongle looked like, but now as you can see, this is an actual dongle, and it looks like it might come with a USB extension cable too, because this looks about like a Type A connector, and it has an extension cable too, which is really cool. So you're gonna get a really nice sleek dongle just like this, not some kind of ugly HTC tracker dongle, like, oh boy. They actually show you the insides too. So I'm assuming this is just a big ribbon cable that connects all the sensors. Right here is using their Tundra Labs SoC tracker type chip that you can find on their Tundra Labs website, not the Tundra trackers, but the Tundra Labs. They actually do sell this chip alone, and you can also buy the development kind of board. So that's really cool to kind of see that. You see, it's very simple, and that's it. And that's the rest of the video. So yeah.